Nehemiah Chapter 5, usury is abolished. Now there was a great outcry from the poorer people and their wives against their Jewish brothers to whom they were deeply in debt. For there were some of who were saying, "We, along with our sons and our daughters, are many. Therefore, allow us to get grain so that we may eat and survive." There were others who were saying, "We are mortgaging our fields, our vineyards, and our houses to buy grain because of the famine." There were also others who were saying, "We have borrowed money of our fields and vineyards for the Persian king's heavy tax. Now our flesh is the same as that of our brothers, and our children are like their children. Yet here we are selling our sons and our daughters to be slaves, and some of our daughters are forced into bondage already, and we are powerless to redeem them because our fields and vineyards belong to others." These are the wives and the poorest people. They were so far in debt. And it says, "Then I was very angry when I heard their outcrying, these words of accusation." You run out of money and you got to keep going to people and you got to sell them. You got to sell your children off. You got to sell your children off. I couldn't imagine. You hear about these things in other countries. I mean, you do hear about them, and you're like, how could you do that? It's unfathomable. It's unfathomable, right? Because in America, we have everything. We really do. Even though we may think we are suffering, still paying $5 a gallon of gas, we're still going places. You know what I mean? And so to have absolutely nothing, to have to give up everything you own and your children to live. It says, "I was angry when I heard their outcrying these words of accusation. I thought it over and then challenged the nobles and the rulers. I said to them, 'You are exacting usury, excessive interest from your own brothers.' So I held a great assembly to confront them. I said to them, 'According to our ability, we have redeemed and purchased back our Jewish brothers who were sold to the Gentile nations. Now, would you even sell your brothers that they might be sold to us?' Then they were silent and could not find a single word to say. So I said, 'What are you doing? What you're doing is not good. Should you not walk in the fear of our God to prevent the taunting by the pagan nations, our enemies? And likewise, I, my brothers, and my servants are lending them money and grain. Please let us stop charging this interest. Please give back to them this very day their fields, their vineyards, their olive groves, and their houses, and also 100 part of the money, the grain, the new wine, and all the oil that you are lending them.' Then they said, 'We will give it back and not require anything from them.' What? 'We will do exactly as you say.' Then I called the priest and took an oath from them that they would act in accordance with this purpose." All it took was one person to stand up for them. And then he had to go to the priest and require them to make an oath because they weren't trustworthy, right? I also shook out the front of my garment and said, "So may God shake out every man from his house and from his possessions who does not keep this promise. Like this may be shaken out and emptied." And all the assembly said, "Amen." And they praised the Lord. Then the people acted in accordance with his promise. Pretty cool. Takes standing up for what is right. Nehemiah's example, moreover, from that day that I was appointed to be the governor in the land of Judah from the 20th year to the 32nd year of King Artaxerxes for 12 years, neither I nor my relatives have eaten the governor's food allowance. So he didn't take any of their food. It says, "But the former governors who were in office before me put a heavy burden on the people and took food and wine from them in addition to 40 shekels of silver as an excessive monthly salary. Even their servants assumed authority over the people. But I did not do so because the reverent fear of God." He did not ask for anything. He did not ask when he was governor. He did not say, "Okay, people, you're going to pay for my food. You're going to pay for my servants." No, he paid for his own. "I also applied myself to the work on this wall. We did not buy any land, and all my servants were gathered together there for the work. Moreover, there were at my table 150 Jews and officials, besides those who came to us from the nations that were around us. Now the following were prepared for each day: 1 ox and 6 choice sheep. Also poultry were prepared for me, and in intervals of 10 days all sorts of wine. Yet all this I did not demand the governor's food allowance, because the servitude was heavy on this people. Remember me, O God, for good, according to all that I have done for this people." Isn't that pretty cool? He didn't just do that. He looked to God to provide. Can you imagine people do that? Looking to God instead of demanding from other people, even though it's all right, even though it's expected. Sometimes situations in our life we think, yeah, well, that's supposed to be that way. It's expected to be that way. But how about you go to God and go, "You know what, God? I'm relying on you. You make this work out. You make this better in my life," instead of relying on man. How much different our world would be. How much different our marriages would be. How much different our relationships would be. How much different our work environments would be. Yeah, we start relying on God to fight those battles. So, all right, I'll see you tomorrow.